In this video, we'll learn how to organize UI elements in Power Automate Desktop the smart way. Let's get to it. On the right, we have a flow that launches Chrome to the web URL on the left website. And also, there are placeholders for actions that we're going to add UI elements. There are two ways to add UI elements to the flow. One is you can bring an action over here, in this case populate text field on web page, and click the UI element input box, and then you can add UI element here by clicking the button, and that will bring up an element picker which you can then select by pointing to it and clicking on the web page. I do not recommend this method because it's not always clear which page you're adding the element to. So I'll close this and I'll show you the method that I recommend. We go over here to the UI Elements panel and click Add UI Element. We get the UI Elements picker, and I'll click the first input box on the home page by pressing Control and left clicking. Click Done, and we've added it. And here we get a cryptic page and a generic element name. So we'll have to rename those so that they make sense. We'll rename the page as Home, and the element we can call Experience. We'll click Add UI Element. Click Services. Done. Rename the page About, and rename the input box as Services. And lastly, we'll go to the contact page, add UI element, first name, rename contact, rename first name. And when you're doing this, you can always confirm that you're on the right element because graphically the selected element is shown at the bottom right. Okay, so we've got our UI elements added. Now when we bring in a populate text box, text field on web page, and we want to pick the UI element, we can see here that on the home page, it's very clear that we're adding the experience input box. We'll put in some text. Then on the About page, we can likewise do this. About Services. And on the Contact page, so it's very clear what our UI elements are and which ones we're adding to the page. And we have a well-defined structure here. And when we add additional UI elements, we can add them to the actual page that they belong on. Now, an important point is that occasionally, when you go to add a UI element, and you click on the panel here to select it, one that's already existing that you already added from the UI Elements panel, sometimes it won't be here. I consider this a bug. Other people just consider it something that happens. So what should you do in a case like that? I would say the thing that you should not do is if you bring in a populate text field on web page and you can't find your existing element here, what I used to do was click on Add UI Element here, and you get the control picker. You can go through the process of clicking on the one that you want. So I found that that's not a good thing to do, because what happens is it will add the UI element, but it will add it to a page that's not the page that it belongs on. It'll create a sort of an alternate page, and you'll have two pages that are both home pages. One will have a different name. That really breaks the organization. So what I recommend doing in a case like that is bringing in populate text field in window. And you'll likely find that when you click the text box and look for the missing element, it will be here in the list. And you just select that and go from there. That's the best way to handle it. That way it maintains element structure. I hope you found this video useful. Please like and subscribe to the channel.